cycle and the world's gone mad. Let's teach others the beauty of the land. My heart will be right as we come full circle. I'll give thanks for the miracles. North, south, east and west, I feel so blessed. I hope I'm moving on, walking on.
Hi everybody, Woody here. Welcome back to the 1,000 Miles with Woody Blaine, and we're just getting going here, and we're talking about how to walk a spiritual walk, and from the prophecy, we're trying to see how many people we can understand that's out there that's trying to stay on this spiritual walk while all this wintertime stuff is going on. And so we have a really super special guest to me today. It's kind of my auntie in that way, and from Cherokee, North Carolina, and her name's Carol. And I don't know what the weather's like there, but we'll just get her to introduce herself, and we'll go from there. Are you there, Auntie?
I am here.
Want to introduce yourself to all these people that are watching?
Okay. Hello, my name is Carol, and I'm from Cherokee, North Carolina. I'm a member of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and it's good to be here, and it'd be great to meet all of you in person sometime.
Awesome. So glad to get you on the show here, and just before we started, you're talking about the new treatment center. That's pretty exciting, and reservation kind of needed that for sure. And yeah, I'll see what I can do to maybe try to come and help and get that going.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like I know that you're in sobriety, and the show's not totally about sobriety, but not really. Lots of us came through that way to be trying to walk this walk, especially in a cultural way. But um, what happened? What led up to you making this big
Well,
decision?
I I started drinking and been really crazy about 18 years old, and my life was just really out of control. I thought I had control of everything, but later on, I found out that I had no control of anything. Um, and I mean, I went for years just doing exactly what I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted. And of course, the result was I wasn't anywhere. A lot of times I was homeless with two kids, and relationships that were just all crazy and stuff. And then I started working for our tribal courthouse. They developed a drug court program there, and I had no interest in that either. But I guess being native, we always want to lend a helping hand when there's a need. And the judge that was running the program had started it prematurely, so he had no staff, and he was kind of just winging it by himself. And he came in, and his hair was all, just he just had a bad day. It was just everywhere, and he said, "I've got to have some help." And so when he left, I went to my supervisor and volunteered to help until he got some, just to do the clerical work until he got some help. And so, I was approved to do that. And that first session of court, I was just totally hooked. I'd never seen someone with so much compassion for other people. People that were drug addicts and alcoholics and always in trouble. And myself, I was always like, well, they put themselves there. They, just pay the price of whatever, and never any compassion for anybody. Even though, I was right in there with them. I just happened to be able to hold a job all the time and got some education and was able to, get a fairly decent job. But once I started with the drug court program, it really changed my life. Listening to their struggles, and and how this judge was just really cool with them. And that was like in February. And so around May or June, we had come across a vehicle. One of the tribal um, programs had given us a vehicle so we could, take the participants around when they needed to go somewhere, and do things for them and with them. So um, the guy that worked with me had the car. We kind of just rotated with it, and so I got a call from one of our people, and he said, um, "I need a ride to a AA meeting." I said, "Well, call so and so." I said, "He's got the car," and he said he won't answer. He said, "Can you come get me in your own car and take me?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "Well, why not?" And I said, "Because I drink a beer and I can't go." And he said, "Oh, so you can and I can't." And I thought, that really struck me. And so that was the beginning of my road to recovery. So I decided that, he's right. I can't tell them that they can't do it if I'm doing it. And then I started going to AA meetings and NA meetings, and started attending the Wellbrighty trainings and stuff that came to town, that, a few groups there in Cherokee sponsored. And a couple of ladies actually ran Wellbrighty programs, and I went through the 12-step programs with these ladies. I went through it once with one and twice with another lady. And that really is where my spiritual journey started, and I wouldn't be anywhere today. I mean, I'm not doing anything now, but I wouldn't be even sober. I probably wouldn't even be alive today. So, I just wake up every day and thank God, that I'm alive, and that, you know, I have a place to live, and he's blessed me with this awesome family and really great friends. So that's about my story. Of course, I'm coming up on 15 years, the 12th of March of my sobriety.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, I think a lot of us can. I can't even really contemplate where would I be today if something didn't happen, and uh, and I was able to quit drinking and using. Like you, I don't know, probably dead, life in prison.
yeah,
I'm not real sure, but it's remembering that where would I be today? That gives me, I think, gives all of us, uh, some kind of energy for that new person that's coming along that can't even see where they're going to be tomorrow. And it's like, well, we all know where we're going to be tomorrow if we don't quit. So wow. So you got into so that you mentioned the Wellbrighty. That that's when I was down there, and lots of people got started. I still hear from some people, especially the drum group. And so these days, like I think of you and how much you've done for that community with the ribbon shirts and the veterans, and heck, I wish I lived there so I could get me a cake once in a while.
yeah. I
um,
I enjoy making cakes. I haven't made any in a few months. I kind of, I took a lot of time off. January, the whole month of January, I just didn't do anything. I'm real busy with the American Legion and the auxiliary, and I just took the month of January off, and then I took February off with bronchitis, and then I got COVID, and so I'm back on recovery now as far as my health and everything. So
oh,
I'll be
good.
going at it again.
Yeah. So I know you probably didn't watch the first episode, but it's the same. remember the prophecy we used to talk about in the well-brady trainings,
Yes.
and so we're
Mhm.
going to kick this show off with all them signs that come true, and the eagle flying to the moon, and the white buffalo, and the seventh moon blocking the sun, and that we're in this new springtime now. Uh, However, that winter time is gonna keep on going as well while this new springtime begins, and began a long time ago for sure, and and so, but I don't think we know how big it is, and so we thought about starting this show so we can show each other, hey, how many people are walking this walk, and uh, you know, not on the destructive side, and so there's not much we could do about that winter lasting a long time more, and this new springtime. But I don't know if you remember, one of the elders said there was a warning that said if enough people didn't get on this healing path of this new springtime, that it might fizzle out pretty quick, and then that winter time would continue on. And so they said towards the end of that winter, we would see the world at its worst. With weather, and the earth is going to wobble, and we'd see brother killing brother, and all kinds of things. And he also mentioned, alcohol and drugs that would get worse, and family units would break apart, and so that probably really excited me. Over 30 years ago, when I first started recovery, there was some hope, and I still have that hope today. And uh, what's the recovering community like there now? It was pretty grim not too long ago.
Well, it's actually better. We have a group of young men that, I mean, guys that I always have hope for someone until they die and we have to bury them. But you know, I was really slim on hope for a couple of these guys, and they've gotten together and they formed a group uh, of young men, and they just go out and talk to whoever is using and stuff, and they try to drag them into their group, and they are really, really doing good. They're they had an event back in the fall. And they had probably about 100 people attend their event, and they just had hot dogs and hamburgers, and they had speakers and just people to hang out with, and I have been searching for so long on some way to make recovery cool, and I just couldn't come up with anything. And these guys have. They have made it really cool, and it's really attractive to um, a lot of newcomers, and their group has grown pretty good. They go motorcycle riding, they ride the bikes and bowling, and just fun things there to show them that they can have fun. And so it's looking better here. And
That's awesome.
Anna Lenishki has expanded their services. They now have a home for um, young mothers and over by the boys club, and they're working on a place for the men. And of course, they opened up the the new treatment center, and they've really done well. And they've got some really good people working with them. So, uh, and of course, anytime I run across someone, I'm always saying, go to Anna Lenishki. They can help you. They can get you in treatment, and help you with the things that you need help with. So it's looking good here. It's beginning to turn from that really bleak thing that was so long to something good. Of course, we still have our problems. It's not perfect yet, but they're working on it. They're doing a good job.
Sure, it may take a couple of generations to even make some headway. We all know that, but pretty much our generation is, well, I have to say it to myself. My generation is responsible for initiating this, and then it might take a couple of generations for it to come into full view. And so we're hoping for that. But that sounds really a good start there. Is that so? Is the new treatment center, is it inpatient? Does it have
Yes.
beds?
Yes, it's a beautiful. It's down in Snowbird. I don't know that if you ever got a chance to go to Snowbird, but that's like an hour away. They bought this mountain down there, and it's on the top of the mountain. It is just beautiful. They have housing for males and females, and then of course their main area for the meetings and food and stuff. But it is just gorgeous. It's really and it's like a good 30 minutes away from town. Um, there's not anybody real close, and they have some fairly good staff there. It's just gorgeous.
That sounds awesome. I want to come and see that. Yeah, I'm familiar with Snowbird.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is on one of the mountains in Snowbird, and it's just, it's away from everybody, and they're able to heal and stuff. They take them to meetings in town, and around Snowbird, Murphy, and Andrews area there. So they get exposed to the AA and NA, and they do a lot of cultural things with them. They take them to water, and um, they have a drum down there. Someone teaches them the songs there, and when they have graduations, they do a big ceremony with the drums and everything. And the participants that have learned the songs sit around that drum and sing for the graduate. That's just awesome. It's just so impressive. I just love it.
So, do you think those cultural components are a big help?
Yes, I think they're very important, because a lot of our kids aren't taught the culture, and so they're, along with being lost in alcohol and stuff, they're lost in culture too. So yeah, it's really important that they get that. They have some language there, they teach them a little bit of language, but a lot of it's cultural healing and things like that.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad that the seed was planted there, and that seed looks like it's growing. Sounds like it's growing to me. So proud of all of that, And I think I don't know how it works, but we're all related, even though I'm from Oklahoma. But I don't see how we can be still related, even though we're separated so many years ago. But I've always kind of called you my auntie. People go, "That's your auntie?" Well, in that way,
And I have, and I'm really proud for that. That's just really cool. I like that.
how many nephews you got? A couple, 300.
Yeah, and I like that. I really do.
Yeah, I'll bet
You
that
know,
helps you.
mhm. I have a lady here that does sweats, has a lodge, and a few years ago, Orville Looking Horse was in town, and he was at a USIT conference here, and he's friends with her, and she invited me to a sweat. She said it's by invitation only. She said, so don't be out telling people to come. And I said, okay. So I get there, and there's this person there, and she introduces me and everything. And I asked her if I could take another lady with me that had lived in South Dakota for a number of years. And she said, sure, bring her. And so we were sitting around talking, and the other lady said, what did she say his name is? And I told her, and she said, oh my God, Carol, do you know who he is? And I said, no. And she said, he is like the Pope of the Native people. And I said, oh my God. So I was in a sweat with him, and I swear to God, I thought the flesh was going to fall off of my bones. That sweat, it was so hot. But I'm just so honored to have been in a sweat with Orville.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. He is kind of a, I don't want to say the Pope. That might be That might be weird, but
He might not like that.
he might not. But yeah, I mean, I've seen him at gathering speaking a couple of times. I've never really up close met him, but we were on a radio show one time together talking about the
Uh-huh.
sweat lodge and things like that. But yeah, that's really, I mean, that's a good story. And, was
Yeah.
that, yeah, is that, so I've been to that, well, I've been to a sweat up there at the Grant's place, but this be a different one, huh?
Yeah, this was with Dolores Taylor. She's in Birdtown.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, she does a lot of uh sweats out, and I think she goes to New Mexico in the summer. Anyway, she always tries to drag me to Sundance, and I'm like, no, Dolores, I don't think I'm gonna go. So
Well,
I'll
lots
go
of
out
people
to
from there still come up to the Sundance in Francis,
yeah.
North Dakota. Yeah,
Hmm.
from there, and it's always good to see them guys. But
Hmm.
yeah, well, I think I'm sure glad that you were able to come on, even if it was for a short time here. But yeah, trying to get this show going and see how many people are on. You know what? I wouldn't mind talking to those men, or one of them that started that circle, and
Uh-huh.
maybe you could hook us up. I'd be glad to hear from them guys. And
Absolutely. He works at the hospital, and I never, ever, ever thought that he would be clean. And here he is just doing it, doing this thing. And I'm like super impressed with him.
that's good.
I'm involved with another group, the Indians in sobriety, and we have some money to put on events with, and so we gave them some money to help with buying the food and all that stuff. And I'm hoping to entice him and his group into, joining our group because we're getting old and these events need to continue, and like
Yes,
I don't get around that much anymore. I mean, I still cook and do all this other stuff, but if there's a younger person that's going to come along and want to do that, I'll be, happy to step aside and say, okay. But yeah, I will hook you up with him. And if I see him around this week, I'll get you guys hooked up. But he's quite impressive.
that's cool. What is his name?
His name is Robert Martins.
Okay, yeah, I'll just try to remember that. You can
Yeah,
contact me.
his grandpa used to be one of our firemen. So
Oh,
yeah, he's quite a character. But um, he works at the hospital, so I'll just have to get a hold of him and get you guys hooked up. In fact, I may just suggest you guys be friends on Facebook, and you can meet that way
oh yeah, that'll work.
because he he and I are friends on Facebook. That's one of the ways that I follow him and keep track of what some of the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, I kind of follow you that way. That's why I know you're busy. But you
Well,
gotta,
I don't post half of this. I don't post half of the stuff that I do. Every
you
now and then
gotta,
I'll post something, but
you gotta quit posting the pictures of them cakes because I'm diabetic and it makes my sugar go up just looking at them.
yeah, they're pretty good. I have to say that. They're edible. They're not like beautiful, like design. The decorations are beautiful, whatever, but they're edible, and that's what matters to me.
That's what counts. Well, I should
Yep.
tell you, if we could, I'm kind of asking everybody, what would you tell the people out there as a closing here, um, kind of inspirational, if you could, from a elder's point of view.
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay positive. And when you pray every day, you pray for everybody else around you because you got people praying for you. We don't necessarily have to pray for ourselves, but you pray for everybody around you, and just be mindful of everything you do. Is There's a reaction to it, and it's like the stone that's you throw in the lake and you see the ripples. That everything that we do has a ripple effect on everybody. Is this going to be good for everybody, or is it just going to be good for me, or or is it not going to be good? It's um and the words that you say are super important. You know I'm still learning, to be careful about how I say things, and what I say, because you can't ever take those back. Once they're out there. So that's probably about the best thing that I could say. And like I said, those are things that I'm still learning. And every now and then I slip up and stuff. But when I slip up, I know that I'm not as spiritually connected as I need to be, because, you listen to that inner voice that tells you what you can do and what you can't do. So that's about it for me.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. We need to hear things like that from people like you. I look up to you. Lots of people look up to you and love you, and just one. So one last thing, you talk about that the ripple effect, and so I've had to learn that my destructive behavior had a ripple effect that went beyond what I could see or know, and uh, but there's a spiritual stone too that we can throw in, and that'll have ripple effects. And so that's what we're trying to do here, is throw some
Hmm.
spiritual stones out there and see if that ripple effect could affect the whole world. Would be the top goal. But um, we're really, our generation is doing pretty good as far as getting this started, planting this seed and nurturing it and getting it to grow. And I remember when I was a little kid, I didn't know anybody that was sober, and now I kind of do. But
Yeah.
in my lifetime, I've seen the change at least begin. And in the grand scheme of things, we still got a long ways to go, all of us. And I'm really happy that you came on the show, and you can go to that. I'll send you the link where you can find it after I put it up, and you can give it a watch and share it around the res there, and yeah,
That'd be cool.
we'll go from there. Maybe I'll get you
Yeah.
back on next year or something like that.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm really honored to have been able to do this. And hopefully, we can get together, and you can come visit, and maybe get you hooked up at that treatment center. And because I mean, I don't know who runs it right now, but you know, I don't think anybody could run it as good as you could.
I don't know about that. You're not the only one that's trying to get me to do that. I think Patty said something about it, and some other people there, but it's
Uh-huh.
a long move from. We have to talk my wife into it. That's what we have to do. But I don't
Oh
know.
well, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I
It's
love it there.
beautiful here.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Okay. Well, thank you. And one of the things that Will Bridie says that has impacted me the most is be the change you want to see. You know, and I always think about that. So
Yeah,
anyway, be the change you want to see.
that's right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll still text
Okay.
you.
You have a wonderful day, and I will talk with you later.
All right. Thanks, Auntie.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, everybody. It's Auntie Carol from Cherokee, North Carolina, and we just want to thank all these people for tuning in. Have a big list. It's kind of a scheduling deal, and But if you want to be on the show, just leave a comment. We'll see if we can hook up and get on a Zoom, or if you're local, to probably just bring you into the studio. And as usual, there's all that spiel. I'm not too good at all that spiel about subscribing and hitting the bell and the thumbs up button, and there's ways to donate and all that kind of stuff. But we have a lot of big plans that are in progress right now with a website, and we're going to be doing daily meditation videos. It just lasts a few minutes, and you'll be able to click on them and get today's meditation or saying from our current elders that are with us now, and all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it here, but hopefully everyone's still around for when that launches, and we'll be able to get on that. But for now, I'm just going to sign off and give thanks to all my relations. Thank you.
The sky's looking dark and the clouds look heavy. Might be wiser if I hopped in the Chevy. But I have a lot to think about. I'm gonna take a walk even if I get rained out. The sky's looking dark and the clouds look heavy. Might be wiser if I hopped in my Chevy. But I have a lot to think about. I'm gonna take a walk even if I get rained out. I'm moving on, walking on. So much going on I can't ignore. Just let that rain pour. Talk to my maker as I trek along. Hum with the birds as they sing their songs, and I'll keep walking on as the rain pours on. I'm moving on, I'm walking on. Close the world out for a moment of time, just a quick breath to clear my mind. Wind starts blowing and the rain's much harder. Leaves flying everywhere, the sky's much darker, and I'll keep walking on, walking on. Find some peace of mind with every step I take. Humming with the birds till my soul is sick. Look to the sky as the rain pours down. As it hits my face, I can hear the silent sounds. I'm moving on, walking on, walking on. In a new cycle and the world's gone mad. Let's teach others the beauty of the land. My heart will be right as we come full circle. I'll give thanks for the miracles. North, south, east and west, I feel so blessed. I'm moving on, walking on. I'll keep walking when I'm overwhelmed. Find my harmony in a different realm. All the while, know the answers lie within. walking on, I'm walking on. The sky looks dark and the clouds look heavy. Might be wiser if I hopped in the Chevy. But I have a lot to think about. I'm gonna take a walk even if I get rained out. I hope